Welcome, everybody. This is Stephanie Gillison, and today I am so excited to have on this episode of Global Domination true real estate global domination. You know, every other week we come on the show, we're interviewing impressive agents who have not only mastered their local market, but they've taken it to a whole entirely different level. And it's what we call global domination. And today I'm really excited to have these two amazing people, Jay and Ashley Nelson, out of Nashville, but also out of Puerto Rico. And we're going to dive into all of that. But you all, just to kind of give you a backdrop, 5 years ago, these two people changed my life drastically because we met on a call and they showed me something along with a group of others that there is something much larger than just localized real estate.
Yep.
You guys, my entire definition of being in this industry has always been to dream big. And that phone call that day that we had a little over 5 years ago said to me, Stephanie, you've been right this whole time. There are big dreams out there that you can actually achieve. So thank you, Jay and Ashley, for changing my life and lives of nearly close to 5,000 agents by now. So welcome, guys. Thanks for taking your time to be on here today.
Steph, we love you.
Well, come on, let's get right to it. And I want to start at the beginning with you guys, because like I said, you all give agents like myself and so many others the stage every single day to tell our stories so that we come from a, inspirational. But the truth of the matter is you don't tell your story that much because you all are not those people. You all are those people that you push everyone else to be so much bigger than they are. And today I want to dive in because you all have an amazing story. You lead so many of us with a servant's heart. It's all about all of us, not just you. It's all about all of us all the time. And so I want to start at the beginning. How did Jay and Ashley get into real estate? Because this is a great story, guys.
Well, you know what, Stephanie? First of all, we just want to say we think the world of you. You have, that when we first met you, we were like, this lady can absolutely inspire people. Your work ethic is unbelievable. So we're blessed to call you business partners and friends, and
yes.
And you and Sam are amazing. So thank you for having us. And I just would say to anybody that ever watches this, I don't think I know too many people that are better at real estate than Stephanie Gillison. So we're thankful.
That's the truth. Yeah.
For you. So, but yeah, we got it. Ashley, why don't you crank up and say kind of how your story is, and then I'll kind of fill in the blanks.
Okay. Well, I've been around real estate my entire life. My grandparents actually owned a Century 21 franchise. So I saw them, doing the whole broker owner thing my entire life. And they also saw the good things about that and the challenging things about that. And so I've always loved to sell. I love people. I love helping people. And so my grandfather was always wanting me to get into real estate. And so I finally did back in 2006 is when I first got my license. And my grandfather was one of those just amazing people. Everybody loved him. He was 6'4". I say he wore that gold blazer just proudly. He was just awesome. He was a mentor of mine just in life in general, and in real estate. And so for me, what happened was I got my license. Finally, I was doing another career at the time, went full force into real estate, and he actually helped me write my very first listing agreement. And the very next day he had a stroke. And it was, sorry, y'all. It was terrible for every possible reason. It was awful and so sad. And it was a stroke that he did not recover from. And so but he had taught me so much, and a lot of my family just on hard work and work at everything as if you're working for the Lord. That's what I've always been taught, and that's what I live by. But what I learned with real estate is after that happened, I didn't really have anybody to help me. I was on my own. That's real estate. That's very common. So I had seen my grandparents, always recruiting agents. That's a normal thing in real estate. So this is going to lead into our story with EXP and how we saw that. And also that the collaboration within a real estate office is not there. Nobody really wanted to help me. I was their direct competition.
Right.
I did end up being very successful, praise God, and worked my rear end off. And so that's just the beginnings of me getting into real estate. So now, Jay, you go ahead, and then we can tie it into coming to EXP.
Well, bottom line is I'm a C student. I'm like smart, but I'm a very street smart kind of guy. I'm actually on a back alley in Puerto Rico. I better be street smart where I'm sitting right now.
Be careful there, babe.
Yeah, but it's all good. But my point is this, I was a waiter in a restaurant. I was a wannabe country music singer, and I needed to make money. So I got my license, and, I don't do anything halfway. I'm an all in or all out kind of guy. And I just tried to surround myself with people to learn from and work hard. And that's what I did. And, I was still waiting tables when I made my first, $100,000 a year in commission. And people were like, why are you still waiting tables? And I was like, well, because first of all, I believe that real estate's a contact sport. You got to get in front of people. And that was a good way for me to get in front of people. And I ended up launching my career that way. And like Stephanie, I had a Remax at one time and was an owner of a Remax, and, it had done very well in real estate. But I will tell you this, I don't think we're better than anybody out there. If anybody's ever watching our videos or whatever, don't put us up on a pedestal. We're just regular people. Ashley's propping the camera up on a pillow right now, guys.
I'm actually holding it right now
Wait,
because I can't get it to stay.
Yeah, but while you're holding it,
I got it.
there you go. But you got a hell of a view out that window, so.
Yeah, we do. It's beautiful.
So we're just blessed to be here. And you know what? Like I said, I just want to encourage anybody that just whatever you see or hear from Stephanie and from us, you can do it too. You just got to find the right people that'll help you get there. That's it.
Well, so Jay was,
true.
let me say this. Jay was he's a Lifetime Achievement Award earner at Remax. At the time, he was the youngest in the state of Tennessee to ever get that. At the time, I was into real estate investing. He was an agent. I was not an agent right when we first saw EXP. I am again now. But at that time, he was selling like 80 plus houses a year by himself with just one, admin assistant. And I tell people all of those things are great. He was so successful, but really what that means is I never saw my husband. He was so busy all the time to be able to do that amount of volume by himself. And I always was telling him, there's no end to this. There's no retirement. Like, you always have to sell another house. You're literally going to be selling real estate until you die, because that's firsthand what I saw happen. What I saw happen with my grandfather. So I was just like, there has to be, kind of like you, Stephanie, like when you saw EXP, you're like, okay, there's something bigger. I was like, there has to be something, a better way here. But prior really to EXP and technology, this just wasn't possible. Like what we're doing with EXP just was not possible 20 years ago. And so a friend of ours that had just gotten into real estate, lived in a different state than us, reached out to Jay and said, I want to share something with you about real estate. And Jay's like, I just don't really think there's anything that you can tell me about real estate that I probably haven't already spent a lot of money on trying to figure out. And this guy had not even sold a house yet. But out of respect for friendship, Jay said, okay, I'll jump on a webinar and look at it. And Jay forgot about that And so he keeps calling him. And so Jay has to pull over on the side of the road and pull up his computer and get on this webinar. So then after that, he calls me and he's like, Ashley, okay, there's something I've got to show you when I get to the house. Like, it's very, very interesting. And I'm like, oh gosh, what is it now? Because Jay's always coming up with something. So he gets to the house, he pulls up the laptop. I'll never forget it. We're sitting at the kitchen table and we start watching this recorded webinar about eXp Realty. And that was almost 6 years ago now. And we were watching this, and halfway through, I said, pause. I said, you're leaving RE/MAX and we're doing this. And he actually did. He actually did fill out the application that very night, and it's just been amazing ever since.
Well, and I love that. And, you know, and this speaks to everybody, whether they're a single agent, a broker owner, a franchise owner, you name it, you know, because like you started out saying, Ashley, you watched your grandfather recruit agents all the time to keep that gerbil wheel just a spinning and a spinning. Jay, you owned a RE/MAX constantly, but you had to pull from your local market because that's where agents were. That's where the agents were that were going to elevate your RE/MAX business. Same with your grandfather with the Century 21 business. You see EXP, you know that every bit of what you all are focused on is to lead with value in other agents. Like 100% of the time, 200%, it's to bring value to other agents. You were both in that industry. Yeah, you were doing 80 plus deals a year, but you were still pouring into agents to better them, to elevate them as well as your business. And what you saw that night, both of you, when you pushed stop and said, we're leaving RE/MAX, was the opportunity to do that all over the world and not just in a handful of zip codes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
exactly. I mean, I'll go ahead, Jay.
No, you go ahead, baby.
I was just going to say exactly. So I said, wait a minute. They're saying to us on this webinar that this company, the EXP, will let us do what my grandparents did their entire lives. They can recruit agents, bring on agents, make a percentage of their sales, but we can do it anywhere and we don't have to have any expense. Are you kidding me? And
no liability.
We can help. Right. We can help people learn real estate all over the world and learn from other people all over the world, and we'll be connected. We even saw that collaboration and that help like instantly like that. Like, this has never been done. This will be huge, and it is huge, and it's not going to stop. It's just getting bigger.
You know, one thing I want to say is where the align, you know what, I truly believe that a word that is not used enough in real estate is the word alignment. And the reason is because there are a lot of great brokerages. There really are. I'm not to say that EXP is the only great brokerage in the world. I don't. What I can tell you is the way EXP is set up is unlike any other from an alignment perspective, because you don't bring on agents to the J. Nelson brokerage, or, you know, Stephanie Gillison, you had Gillison Realty, you had real estate brokerage, and you did help agents by bringing them to the Gillison, you know, hey, come to the Gillison Realty. At EXP, we let you literally align and partner. So every agent has their own identity to where they can build they're partners, not just agents at Stephanie's brokerage or agents at Jay's brokerage, but actual partners. And there's a difference between being a partner, Stephanie, and just being a realtor at somebody else's brokerage. And that's what I see as the main difference.
Absolutely, the main difference. And, you know, I mean, we all think back, I mean, 6 years ago, almost 7 years ago for you guys, did you ever imagine, you know, you owned your RE/MAX. Did you ever imagine that you were going to have well over 3,000 agents across the globe? And also in be a massive owner of property in Puerto Rico and build that whole business out. I mean, was that even in the mindset?
No, what? And I'm
No,
very blessed.
I mean,
EXP.
the capability, I mean, the possibility wasn't even there.
Right.
The possibility wasn't even there. But I will say and I do think it's just because of our unique backgrounds. I will say, I think we were able to see that immediately though. Like when we saw EXP, it was like, whoa, like it was like, this is the vehicle we have needed forever, that we can grow, we can help people, we can build all over the world, we can live all over the world.
Yeah.
So no, but prior to watching that one webinar, no, the thought had not crossed our mind.
Right. And let's talk about what you've done. And I know both of you, you're, it's all about everybody else, right? You elevate all of us, and you all are so amazing for that. What you pour back into all of us is just, I can't even say enough, because you can't even explain it. You have to experience it in order to explain it. But I want to talk about, some of the numbers that we can, because we all come through life with all kinds of roadblocks, right? We all hit these massive speed bumps. And, when I owned Gillis and Realty, and when you owned Remax, if we hit a speed bump, it makes or breaks us, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Do you live with that fear anymore?
No.
Explain that.
I think it just bottoms down to the mechanics of EXP create an alignment of partnership with other agents. Like when, and I kind of I'm going to keep going back to that, because in every other situation at Gillis and Realty, you weren't really, you had agents there, Stephanie, and it wasn't that you weren't helping them, but they weren't your business partners. They were your agents at your brokerage. At EXP, we have over 2,000 business partners that are equally aligned to build a business that's not just me telling somebody, promote me over you. And so I just think it's really about letting people look. I guess I could say this: EXP is designed to bring on board people and help them outgrow you.
That's right.
And brokerages are not. EXP, you're incentivized to create agents. I mean, I've had so many agents over the years, and I can just go down the list of, and I'll still get calls from them, and they're selling more houses than I am now. And they're like, thank you for helping me. And I'm like, man, I did nothing. I just got you moving down the path. You did it all. It's all about you. So I even had that mindset at Remax, but that didn't really work for me there, because I am about everybody building their own brand and focusing on their stuff. And at Remax, you couldn't really do that and be financially. You could help a lot of people, but it didn't really help you to do it that way. So
that's right.
It's amazing, because it actually incentivizes you monetarily to help people outgrow yourself.
I love that you brought that up, because even for myself, and, we all have these moments, but back in the day, not recently, and EXP's helped me not worry about that so much because of the alignment and the incentivizing. Yeah. But, back in the day, I'll never forget, I had to be number one in an office. Like, I had to have that spot, it wasn't about everybody else. It was about, I wanted to be number one. Now, you're right. We are this is why we pour into each other. We are so incentivized for them to just pass us up. We want that to happen, because we all still win. If somebody passed me up at a brokerage I didn't own, if somebody passed me up and took me out of number one, guess what? I'm number two. Who wants to be number two, right? So that's why I just pound it all the time. But now I love it. I love when I get those calls from Andy Mitri or whoever, and they go, Stephanie, I did more volume than you. I'm like, good, because I'm winning too. That's what we love about it, It's
so
just
awesome.
It is, but I think that is the truth of it. People ask me, I'm 45 now. This is my 24th year in real estate. I'm doing all kinds of great things and doing business all over the globe like you guys are. And I love this path. I'm not so focused on Louisville, Kentucky anymore, where I reside. It's like, now all my business partners, y'all deal with all that. Y'all have every bit of that because
Yep.
I see something larger. And, you know, you like you guys, I mean, you killed Nashville, Nashville, Nashville. You own Nashville. You don't care about owning Nashville anymore because, my gosh, let's talk about what you're focused on, what all that you're doing. You know, superstar real estate agents, pouring into agents, former Remax owner, now Puerto Rico developers.
I mean, you know what? I promise I didn't stage this. I swear to God, Ashley's gonna vouch for me that I did not stage this, but I do change hats depending on what meetings I'm in, and I'm gonna change hats right now. Okay,
I love
swear I
it.
did not plan on this. This is my flat bill Puerto Rico hat, baby. Come on.
I love
I'm
it.
actually gonna fit
There you
down
are.
in the back alley in San Juan. I'm gonna fit in better down here with this hat on. So there we go. But no, you know what? You know, I love Puerto Rico because when we came down here, Ashley and I came down here just to kind of visit and really check things out. And I saw so much potential, and me being a developer back in Nashville, and we're still developing in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's not like we're in the middle of a
Yeah,
project.
we still have big developments going on in Nashville.
But we love it down here, and we started, you know, doing deals down here, and now we started a real estate consulting company down here to consult. You know, the meeting I just left was a pretty big meeting in San Juan. So no, we're really dialing in, helping people navigate if they wanted to do things in Puerto Rico, also, whether it's build, short-term rental, commercial, residential, you name it. So we love
That's
Puerto
I
Rico.
didn't plan this either, but I'm actually currently sitting in one of our investment properties. So that's why I have this janky setup on pillows trying to make my phone be still, because I'm actually at one of our investment properties that we're almost finished renovating right now with a
phenomenal ocean view. Absolutely.
Show the view, baby.
Yeah, show the view, Ashley,
yes.
because it is awesome. It's beautiful.
Oh,
And
okay. Then I have to try to get this phone back set right.
that's okay. We'll let it happen because it's worth it, you guys. I mean, here's the thing, you know, and I love
Can y'all
doing
see
this
it?
show because yeah, it's beautiful, awesome, gorgeous. I mean, that's just tremendous. I can't wait to book the stay there when you get it done and out there on the Airbnb. You know, it's funny because I always think back to the very first broker that I ever had, and I bring this up all the time because the moment it was said to me, it stuck. And every day, there's not one day that goes by that I don't hear what he said that day. And I was maybe, you know, 6 weeks into having a real estate license. And he said, you know what, Stephanie, you dream too big.
Wow.
And I said, whoa.
What?
And I'm so grateful, though. I know it's like, what the heck? And obviously I didn't stay there very long, but I'm so grateful today that we can dream big because, you know, we're taught when we go into real estate, find that neighborhood to farm, you know, find that zip code to master, you know, it's always so local. And guys, real estate is global. It's everywhere. Yep. And I like that there's so many of us now within a very short amount of time. I mean, it took me 20 years before I ever saw EXP. But in the 5 years that I've been with EXP, I've done 5 times what I did in those first 20 years of real estate. And that's what we're talking about here. And that's why I love having people like you on because, you know, people say all the time, oh, I hear stories. I hear those stories. No, these are real stories. That's why we're putting them on here. This is real life, folks. This is real opportunity right now, today, that everybody can have that opportunity. You know, one of the agents that I brought over a few weeks ago, he reached out to me on a call because he saw me post a Costa Rica listing. And he said, how are you doing business in Costa Rica? I said one answer, EXP.
That's right.
Yeah.
EXP.
Right. Well,
it's awesome.
Think about it like this. Talking about global and local. So back, you know, in the day when we were first getting into real estate, like you said, you know, it was work your sphere, if you let everybody know in your sphere. Well, back then our spheres actually were pretty small.
Yeah.
We didn't have social media. We didn't have the internet. And so now our spheres are huge. Our spheres are limitless. So why not use that? Why only work your sphere on your one dot in your one town when you can work your sphere on your spheres all over the world?
That's right.
So true. So true.
Well, guys, I so appreciate you taking the time today to do this and let us see an insight into you guys. Anything else that we need to cover before, you all are just killing it everywhere.
Well, we're just blessed. And, I really think it's all about like, I think we're at a point in our life, Stephanie, where it's about alignment with like different people that we relate to. Like, I don't want to, I can't force myself to, if I gotta like fall in love with somebody as a person, like I want to do business. I want to do life with people that want to do business with us. I don't want to convince people of anything anymore, ever again. So we're always saying we're looking for the people that are only looking for us. I don't want to try to slam a square peg in a round hole. I don't have the bandwidth for that anymore. So, we're always looking for the next people that are supposed to be in our life. We'll embrace them and help them however we can.
And that is not level of success. That is mindset.
That's right.
We're not looking for, a level of success. We're looking for an alignment of a mindset. Can you see bigger? Do you want more? Do you see growth? Do you want growth? That's what he's talking about.
And that's so true too, because there's been so many brand new to this industry that, had no idea how to even start a business with real estate or have that real estate career. And that's what we've done is guide them through those processes, with all of the weekly masterminds and the webinars of us sharing every single thing that did work and didn't work. Cause we've been there, we've done that. We built we pounded the pavement and we've patched the potholes, right? Sometimes you feel that way. And that's what I love the most is, I love it when you get those calls of people thanking you for changing their lives because, you've opened up a new way of thinking. It's just another way of thinking, to incorporate in. But I also really love those calls of people that have been able to come and achieve in just, very short little time because of so much to learn from every different nook and cranny of this country and 24 additional countries that we're open in.
Hey, Steph, I want to say one thing to that. I think it's critical, and I think you said it with talking about the potholes. Look, if you're going and you're working and you're pushing, failure is part of success. And we definitely, we went, I lost everything back in 2008. And,
I too.
So, I think you define yourself not at the top of the mountain. You really want to look into the soul of a person. It will be, what do you do when you're in the valley, when you're at the bottom of the barrel? And that's when the true definition of who you are as a person, at least, because at the end of the day, we wake up, we look at ourselves in the mirror. We know exactly every bad thing, every good thing. And I just want to say this to encourage people. If you're at that moment where you're kind of like, look, just because you're in the valley doesn't mean that there's not a mountain right over the top of that thing. And you just, the key is finding other people that want to ascend it with you, that want to go for it. And because we can't do anything by ourselves. Like everything we did at EXP, everything we're doing in Puerto Rico, everything my son Dean is running back in Nashville for us. You can't go through life saying, I'm just going to go make it all happen. You got to find people that believe in you, that love you for who you are, not just for what you can give them and all that stuff, and find people that really you connect with. And then that's what I think everybody just get up and find the people that can help you get where you need to go.
That's right. Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you all so very much. Enjoy Puerto Rico. I know you're doing amazing things down there. I can't wait to come and
Oh, baby,
see
come on.
all that you achieve. I'm coming. We're coming.
We're
coming.
ready. We're ready.
Anybody that wants to go and experience, let's go see it. I mean, it's phenomenal. I love these stories because we're living it. It's one thing to tell a story, it's a totally different one to live it, and I love living this with you guys. Thank you so much.
Steph.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Said hey.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.